Yo, so future Loda, apparently I forgot to say in the intro that there will be timestamps in the description below, so you guys can skip to any character that you want, but let me stop stopping you. Let's get into the video. Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is your boy Loda here, back with another Persona 5X video. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I like to keep things real between us, so keep this between us, but I'm re-recording this video right now. It is currently 10:20 p.m., and I'm recording this video once again because I literally left out 3 of the most important characters, and by the time I had noticed, I had already rendered the video and was getting to upload. So here we are again. But with that being said, please like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. It helps me out a shit ton, and it lets me that you guys are enjoying the content because I'm putting my all into this for y'all. With that being said, let's get into it. We're going to be talking about every 5-star Phantom Thief in the game currently, including the newer ones. I will be making a video on all the 4-star units, but let's go ahead. Start with Joker. Now, for this game, it is a speed-based, turn-based game. Now, what that basically means is that for your character to get their turn, character's turn order is dependent on their speed. So, for example, Joker has 102 speed. Let's say Morgana has 88 speed. That means that Joker would always go before Morgana, and vice versa. If Morgana was 108 and Joker was 102, Morgana would go before Joker. So keep in mind, I will be specifically stating everyone's speed values, and then everyone has a base stat of 5% crit rate, 150% crit damage. Yes, that is correct. 150% crit damage base. That's crazy. Well, let's go ahead and actually get into the kits. So, occupation. This basically means what they specialize in. I'll be going over occupation, properties, and then kit. So, Joker is going to be specializing in AoE group attacks and can effectively target multiple enemies. And obviously, therefore, as his element, he's going to be dealing curse. Let's go ahead and start with the first skill. Fearless Suppression. Deals 59% of cursed damage to all enemies and has a 20% base chance to cause them to gain 1 layer of cursed effects and gain 1 Fury. I'm pretty sure Fury is incorrectly translated here. I'm pretty sure it is Evil Key, so keep that in mind. Evil Key is what the Fury is. Alright, skill 2. Deals 96% of curse damage to 1 enemy. When this skill is released, if there's only 1 enemy on the field, it restores 2 evil key to Joker. So this is actually an extremely good single target, and like it says, if there's only 1 on the field, it's going to be giving him 2 evil key, which is Joker's unique passive. We'll get to it as we go down. Alrighty, for his skill 3, deals 52.5% of attack cursed damage to all enemies, and the damage dealt by this skill is increased by 25% when in an extra turn. Interesting, so I'm going to assume extra turn means weakness knock or something like that, like 1 more. If the target has any mitigating effects on them, the damage dealt by this skill is increased by an additional 25%. So basically, you would hope that this procs the curse effect, and then you would do this right after because you're going to get that damage dealt increase. Okay, that's actually pretty good. I like this. Alrighty. His highlight inflicts 134% of cursed damage to all enemies and gains a break. I do not know what break here means in this instance. I guess we'll find out when the game drops. Revenge potential. So potential are basically passives. For every 1 Fury, aka evil key, you hold, you increase your attack power by 8%. Oh, okay, hold on, that's great. So this means that Joker is constantly gaining key no matter what he's doing. You have this AoE one, you have your single target one, which will give you 2 if only 1 enemy is on the field. But for the most part, you're going to be AoEing constantly with Joker for the evil key, and then you'll be using this. Okay, that's nice. I understand. Cool. His second passive, damage dealt, is increased by 33% when in an extra turn. So obviously, once again, I'm pretty sure extra turn means 1 more, so that means just extra damage, which is actually pretty crazy, considering that you have damage dealt up by 33 when using 1 more, and then you get this 8% attack boost per every key stack. And then you have this, which is additional 25% damage dealt by this skill per each debuff on the enemy. Joker looks to actually be an insanely cracked damage dealer, okay. And then for Consciousness 0. At the end of your turn, for every enemy on the field whose current life value is less than 50, you gain 1 evil key. For every 3 key, Joker gets 1 extra turn to fight, and the evil key is cleared at the end of the extra turn. Each enemy can only give Joker 1 key per battle. Okay. So never mind. You can't endlessly stack it, especially since you get the extra turn. But no, extra turn doesn't mean 1 more in this instance. He literally gets an extra turn. Okay. My bad. Joker seems pretty good, though. I'm going to be making a tier list of all these characters when the game drops, so look forward to that if you want a more cohesive, quick tier list. Alrighty, next we have my boy Ryuji. So his base speed is going to be 94, which is slower than Joker, so like I stated before, if you put him and Joker on the same team, he will go after Joker. Alrighty. Resistance Occupation specializes in single attacks and can effectively target a single enemy. So Ryuji is going to be a single target physical damage dealer. Okay. I don't know how many enemies have physical weaknesses, but who knows. Alright, skill 1. Deals 2 to 3 times 44% physical damage to one enemy, which drains an additional 20% of maximum life and boosts damage by 20% if it does not have the touchdown bounce effect. Okay, so Ryuji, while this isn't necessarily surprising, he's going to constantly be draining his HP even more than usual, because, yeah, okay. So he's going to be draining his own HP to deal more damage, kind of like Hutao if you play Genshin, or like Blade if you play Honkai. That's really interesting. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's worth it. Maybe if you were like a sustain unit, like maybe a healer or something with him, you can make it work. Alright, skill 2. Deals 80% of electric damage and an additional 32% of... What? It does an additional 32% attack or damage if the target's life value is below 50. So this is a single target that's more strong when you're only targeting a single enemy below 50. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Power Strike. Select one enemy to store up power and automatically strikes on the next turn, dealing 185% of physical damage to the target. If you have the touchdown bounce effect, this skill will surely strike. If the target you are attacking dies during the build-up, one other enemy is randomly selected. If Ryuji is in a state where he cannot attack, he will delay until he can act. Okay, so basically, he will just sit there and hold that until he can get back to the play, and then he'll let it rip. Okay. So this actually seems really powerful, because it doesn't seem to actually take too much of his HP. He's taking 15%, but that's more than this 28% that you're getting taken here. Okay. But if you have the touchdown bounce effect, you aren't getting your HP drained, apparently. Okay, I get it, I guess. His highlight's going to be dealing 265% physical damage on one enemy, and boosts the damage of your next skill by 38%. Okay, that's actually pretty solid. Nothing crazy. Alright, his first passive. When the touchdown effect is triggered, restore life equal to 10% of your attack power. Okay, so he does have a self-heal. Okay, that's actually really good to know, because if he was just killing himself, this would be really bad. But thank God he has a self-heal. So maybe you could, like, I don't know, maybe like you could run like a shielder. I don't know if there's any shielders in the game. We'll find out as we go through the kits. But when attacking an enemy with a higher life percentage than your own, attack power is increased by 15%. And usually you're always getting this, I would assume, because he's taking his HP away. So, okay, that's really cool. Alright, Consciousness 0. At the start of the round, boost Ryuji's attack power by a minimum of 10% based on the amount of life it loses. I'm going to assume he loses, I don't know. When his own life is below 20%, he gains the maximum boost, and his attack power is increased by 40%. That's actually a really hefty boost. If Ryuji's life value is below 50%, he gains an additional touchdown bounce. The damage dealt by the next persona skill is increased by 30%. That actually makes this pretty busted. Because that would mean that, I don't know, maybe he doesn't take his, or he doesn't get his life taken away here, and instead he still gets all that damage regardless since he has the touchdown bounce. Okay, interesting, interesting. I like how they're doing Ryuji here. Alrighty, alrighty. Let's see. We got on next. So she's going to have a base stat of 94, which I'm pretty sure is even slower than Ryuji. Alright, let's see. Domination, so she's going to be specializing in AoE attacks, and she's going to be a flame user, once again. Or fire damage. Alrighty, let's go ahead. Flowering Warmth. Inflicts 50% flame damage to all enemies and boosts your own attack power by 20% for 2 turns. While in the subconsciousness state, reduces enemy attack power by 8% based on whether or not a high roll is made, and boosts your own attack power by an additional 8%. The effect lasts for 2 turns. I'm going to assume high roll is an RNG mechanic or something. Alrighty, next. Fire Magic. It's literally just called Fire Magic, okay. Deals 108% flame damage to one enemy, with a 75% base chance to put the enemy in a burning state. If the enemy's life value is less than 50% while in the submerged state, deal an additional 50% damage. Okay. That's cracked, I'm not gonna lie. Flame Erosion. Deals 50%... Oh, my bad. Deals 57% rounded up flame damage to all enemies, with a 50% base chance of causing them to fall into a burning state. Damage is increased by 50% in the subliminal state. Okay, so if you get is subliminal, I don't know if subliminal is technically the submerged state, but I'm gonna just hope it is. And that means that you get 50% as long as they're in submerged. Alrighty, for the highlight, 128% of flame damage on all enemies and increases your own flame damage by 51%, lasts for 1 turn. So you basically highlight, you get the super strong buff, and then you just like hit them with AoE, so like flame erosion probably. Okay, that's cool, that's cool. Alright, Thermal Distress. Damage dealt to enemies in the burning state is increased by 10%. This was kind of expected, most burn units have something like this. That's nice to know though. At the end of the dive state, restore 15% of your attack power to the companion with the lowest life percentage. Okay, so when she's done with her little buff, she'll heal someone for a little bit. Okay, that's nice, that's nice. Alright, Consciousness 0. All enemies will be counted when they receive flame damage. If the count reaches 6, they will enter the subconsciousness state, increasing their attack power by 36% to all the way up to 60%. And the effect lasts for 1 turn. And will not enter the subliminal state again in the next turn. Each time you take an action, High Roller counts up to 4 enemies. So yeah, okay, never mind. It's not RNG. It counts up to. So I'm gonna assume, yeah, it does count guaranteed 4 enemies, or however many enemies you have on the battlefield, up to a maximum of 4. So I assume that High Roll is this. I don't know, like, if it procs every... Hold on. It says each time you take an action. So I don't know if it's... Yeah, so it has to be. So why does it say whether or not? I wonder if High Roll's RNG, like, it proccing is RNG. Alrighty. That's cool, that's cool. I like on. Alrighty, Morgana. He's going to have a base speed of 100%. And to put this out there, as far as I'm aware, he and our other little owl companion are the only 2 healers in the game. So keep that in mind. Morgana might be a might cop for most people. Alright, he's going to be Occupation Rescue, ability to heal companions and provide restorative abilities to the team. My English isn't Englishing. He's obviously going to be doing wind damage. Alright, first skill, Gale Attack. Deals 77% of wind damage to one enemy with a 100% base chance of causing the enemy to fall into the wind attack state. The effect lasts for 2 turns. So I'm assuming wind attack means like wind DOT. Okay, that's cool. Healing Arts. Restores 26% of attack power plus 49% life points to all companions and dispels 1 elemental anomaly from all companions. So in this case, I'm going to assume elemental debuff. So like things like freeze, burn, wind attack, I guess, like they say. If successfully dispelled, immediately gains a layer of intuition. Okay, so if he can dispel, so he's going to be a healer that can actually buff himself. Interesting. Okay, and I like that, I like that. Alright, Miracle Fist. Isn't this just Lucky Punch? Hold on. Deals 84% of attack... My bad. Deals 84% of physical attack damage to one enemy. This skill's hit rate, I think that's crit rate. The skill's crit rate is reduced by 20%, and the strike rate is increased by 30%. If this skill bludgeons, which I mean, if this, I'm pretty sure this is an incorrect translation, it's supposed to say, if this skill crits, it immediately gains a layer of intuition. So once again, kind of just like the lucky punch, if you can get it to crit, you'll get that intuition stack. Alright, highlight. Inflicts 150% of wind damage to one enemy and revives one companion at 1% of maximum life. Okay, so it's not like a humongous revive. You do get the revive though, but you aren't getting like a humongous, like you aren't getting a revive plus a shit ton of healing. That unit would still have to stay alive. Okay. Potential, the healing effect of intuition can be bludgeoned. So once again, I'm going to assume this means crit. The healing effect of intuition can be critted. And crit healing increases the recovery of intuition by an additional 15% attack plus 200. So basically, if you guys didn't understand that, to basically sum it up, Morgana has crit heal. So that means that you will probably want to be building Morgana with a shit ton of crit rates so that you are getting a lot of crit heals procs. And I think that that's actually a mechanic that a lot of healers and other gacha games should be using, because I think the idea of crit healing is really cool, and it actually makes you feel like you have to build your healer more instead of just putting on some, you know, low investment materials. And there's nothing wrong with low investment healers, but I like a healer that feels like they need investment. Alright. Detention potential, or 5% reduction in energy drain for all companions. Okay, so I'm going to assume that just means like energy drain, as in like SP and HP drain. I hope that means that. That's actually really good though. Like you could run Morgana alongside team comps that use a lot of energy or SP. Okay, nice. Consciousness 0. Each time you use a skill that is different from the previous turn, you gain a level of intuition. When a companion uses a skill to attack an enemy, if any companion's blood level is less than 70%, okay, so heal. If any companion's HP level is less than 70%, Morgana causes a combo effect that immediately heals all companions for 15% of their attack power, plus 100, scaling all the way up to 200. My bad, of their life points right here. So basically it's just going to be a HP heal for attack power and their life points. That's actually really good. So Morgana can be an offensive healer if played correctly, and I like the fact that his consciousness actually requires you to use different skills every other turn so that you're getting your intuition stacks, which I like. Alright, next. We got our boy Yusuke. So he's going to have a base speed of 102. Alright. He's going to be a defense occupation, so good at protecting your companions and improving your team's survivability. And as per always, he's going to be an ice damage unit. Alright, Cold Aura. Deals 91% deals 91% of ice damage to one enemy, with a 75% base chance to put the enemy in a frozen state. The effect lasts for 2 turns. That's actually kind of busted, a 75% base chance. I would expect it to be lower, like maybe like a 33, maybe a 35. Okay, though, that's really high. Slashing Group deals 5 ice damage at 55% defense to a random enemy, with an additional 20% damage if the enemy is in a frozen state. Multiple damage hits to the same target drop off damage by 40%, minimum 20%. Okay, so I'm going to assume that the better translation for this is that it is obviously an AoE ice attack, and basically, if it hits the same target numerous times, the damage will scale and fall off. Okay, nothing crazy though. Taunt counter attack. Okay. Gives itself a 46% defense plus 85 shield. The effect lasts for 2 turns. Taunt all enemies for 1 turn. Increases the trigger probability of the next 2 dragon spreading cloth attacks to 100%. Increases damage by 35% and targets a group. I've heard that his taunt is RNG, but this here's making it sound like it isn't. If it is full RNG, someone down in the comments correct me on that. But alright, so He looks like he's going to be a tank unit, and actually this is pretty cool. It's also really interesting that this is the road they're taking with Yusuke. Instead of just making him like your typical ice DPS, they're actually making him unique, and so he's going to be a counter-attack shielder. Okay, that's cool. Highlights. Inflicts 192% ice damage to one enemy and gains a 73% defense shield that lasts forever. If you mean by lasts forever, yeah, okay, so I assume that shields wear off, basically, by how they're wording it, and so this is just a permanent shield, which will, I would assume... I don't know if shields in this case means that, like, it, like, absorbs some of the damage, but you still take damage, or if it means, like, it's taking all of the damage for you. If it's taking all of the damage for you, that's, seems pretty busted, I'm not gonna lie. But if it's only absorbing some, not too broken. Alright, potential. After using any skill, gain a shield of 8% defense, and the effect lasts for 1 turn. Yeah, so he's going to basically be getting that shield, and yeah, it is like a 1-turn shield. Increase defense by 16% when self is under shield. Yeah, so actually, no, this probably, I think this answers my question. I'm pretty sure that only absorbs some damage, but it's not taking, like, all the damage for you, so you're not, like, just not getting hit at all. Alright, consciousness 0. When taking damage, there is a 60% fixed chance to counterattack, dealing 56% of your defense to the enemy with ice damage. Okay, hold on, wait, no, that's actually really cool. Okay, so he's going to taunt here, which should taunt the entire enemy team. He's going to give himself a shield, and then on top of that, he's going to be counter-attacking whenever they attack him. Okay, no, that's actually really good. I like Yusuke a lot. He looks really cool in this game. I might actually genuinely get him. And 102 tempo speed, so that means he's actually quite a fast unit, I'm pretty sure. Alrighty, we have our girl Makoto. She's going to have a 98% base tempo, so nothing too crazy. She's going to be a resistance occupation, so specializes in single target attacks, and she's obviously going to be doing nuclear damage. Alrighty. First skill. Deals 72% of attack power, nuclear... Wait, whoa, my bad. I actually genuinely started reading instead of simplifying it. Deals 72% of nuke damage to all enemies, giving itself a toughness 2-tier cosmic. Weird how they worded that. But since I've already did this video, I've already gone over Makoto in my last recording. So... the toughness tier 2 here means that she's giving herself 2 stacks of toughness. Whenever they refer to tiers in her kit, it means stacks. I don't know why the translation is like that, but oh well. Alrighty. Okay, she's going to have a regeneration. So, skill 2 restores life points to one companion equal to 52% of attack power plus toughness stack times 3.2% attack power, and gives the companion a defense boost based on 25% of Makoto's defense power, and the effect lasts for 2 turns. I'm not gonna lie, guys, this defense boost could be extremely clutch. Makoto, overall, as far as I'm aware, I don't know how many nuke characters there are in the game, but Makoto looks to be extremely strong just off this little buff alone, and that's not even taking into account her toughness stacks. Alright, nuclear deals nuke damage equal to 119% of attack power plus stack of toughness times 5.5% of attack power to one enemy. For each element the enemy is in, the damage is increased by 10% up to a maximum of 20. Alright. Let's see, highlight. Inflicts nuke damage at 256%. That is the highest percentage I've seen so far. Of attack power on one enemy, and causes the enemy to gain 1 random elemental abnormal effect, or element effect. So this also plays into her nuclear thermal. Okay. I like how, like, their ultimates help out with their typical skills right after. Alright, potential. Toughness, or 10 stacks of toughness increase the defense of all companions by 7% at will potential. At the start of the round, boost up to 500 attack points based on Makoto's 1,000 points of defense. I don't know too much about that, but seems pretty useful. When using a skill or taking damage from a skill, give yourself 1 layer of toughness. Each layer increases your attack and defense by 4.5%. The maximum layers of toughness is 10%. And so at max, you can have a 45% attack and defense increase from Makoto, which is actually insanely strong since, like I said, she gets it from attacking and she gets it from being attacked. So maybe Yusuke and her wouldn't really be good since you kind of want her to get attacked for the stacks so that you can get that defense up for all companions and so she can be at her strongest, which I would assume also means she's kind of weak at the start of the battle. Alrighty, next. Haru, one of my favorite characters. She's going to have a base speed of 97%, which is actually pretty good. She's going to be a domination, so it specializes in group attacks, and she's going to be a, not physical, my bad, psychic damage dealer. Alright, let's see what's popping. Nimble Super deals 73% of psychic damage to all enemies and increases the damage dealt to enemies in a mental abnormal state by 25%. There's a 60% base chance that the enemy will receive special treatment, and the effect lasts for 3 turns. Okay, interesting. That seems really strong. I'm not gonna lie. 60% base chance is always greater than 50%, but at the end of the day, it's still a 60-40, so there's a lot of room to not get that proc. Pretty good, though. Alright. Scorch Shelter Shield. What? Alright. Gives one companion a 135 plus 72% attack power shield, increasing the companion's attack power and defense by 17.8%, and handing over effect hit and effect resistance by 14%. The effect lasts for 3 turns, cooldown is 1 turn. I'm not gonna lie. Depending on how she handles effect hit and effect resistance, this could be really strong. Ooh, first time I've seen gun damage. Deals 72% of attack power to one enemy with gun damage. The blast rate of this skill is increased by 20%. So I'm once again going to assume grenade launcher. It says one enemy, but it says blast rate, so I don't know if this technically means like... No. Actually, no. Because this isn't her own gun herself. This is her persona skill. Okay, my bad. I should have thought about that. Yeah, so this is just gun damage. Highlight. Deals 134% of psychic damage to all enemies, causing one random enemy to receive special treatment and immediately reload. Weight potential. Gain a bonus to attack power based on 66% of your effect hits, with the conversion capped at 71.4% effect hits, converting to 47% attack power. That's actually extremely good. So like I stated here, right here, handing over the effect hit and effect resistance, if this scales as well off of, like, let's say I give Joker this shield and he starts doing shit and his effect hit procs due to this shield, I wonder if that also procs Haru's. But if that doesn't proc Haru and she herself needs to be doing effect hits, that's alright as well. That's still a pretty strong attack. When knocking down an enemy, there's a 33.3 fixed chance that the enemy will receive special treatment. Okay. Very funny fixed chance, but oh well. Consciousness 0. When shooting with a firearm at an enemy in the special treatment state, consume the special treatment on all enemies, dealing 90% of the attack power of psychic damage to all enemies. The multiplier of this damage is increased by 36% for every 1 special treatment consumed. After each use of the persona skill, you can reload your firearm. Chat? Infinite grenade launchers. I actually like how her kit actually plays into her grenade launcher. So like, it's not just drop the grenades at the start of the round. No, you actually like genuinely get to make a game plan with her grenade launcher, which I think is really cool and honestly super powerful considering what this is talking about. Alrighty, it's time for my boy Akechi. So he's going to have a base speed of 103, which is pretty high as far as I'm aware. He's going to have a single target, my bad, specializes in single target, so just single target DPS, I would assume, and blessing damage as always. Alrighty, first skill, Prayer of Blessing. Deal 115% of attack power, or my bad, deal 115% of blessing damage to one enemy, causing all companions to gain 1 layer of blessing effects. I would assume blessing effects is just like a team buff, so let's continue reading. Causes one companion, my bad, Mark of Redemption, causes one companion to gain save seal. The effect lasts for 3 turns, causing the damage dealt by this companion next time to be boosted by 19.5%. plus the number of tiers of the companion's blessing effect times 3.2%. Oh, and then look at what it looks like is blessing. The blessing that Akechi gives doesn't actually go away. So he looks like just a straight up universal damage dealer and team buffer. Okay, that's I've said that, I know I've said this a lot, but that genuinely seems pretty busted. With the best effect being achieved at 15 stacks of the blessing effect, and cause this companion to gain a layer of blessing effect at the start of the next 3 turns. Okay. Whoa. So, not only does Akechi make you scale extremely hard with his blessing effects, he gives you 3 blessing effects to said companion every time at the start of their next turn. That's actually pretty busted. The cooldown being 3 turns, understandable considering how good this on paper looks. Alright, his third skill, 100 shots. Inflicts 49% blessing, or my bad, inflicts 49% almighty damage plus blessing effect tier times 6.4% damage to one enemy. Ignoring the damage, or my bad, ignoring the enemy's defense at 15 stacks of blessing effect, Justice is transformed into Fang Yu's arrow, dealing fatal damage to the enemy, and any resistance and counterattacks will be reduced to nothing in front of Justice. Yeah, bro? You the Lord and Almighty? Alright. Highlight inflicts 108% plus blessing stack tier times 6.4%. It says Fang. I'm going to once again assume this means blessing, but I'm just going to say Fang here because it does say Fang. But no, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, we're just going to say blessing. Blessing damage on one enemy. Ignoring enemy's defense, it reaches its best effect at 10 stacks of blessing. Okay. So yeah, what would that be? It'd be like... It'd be 6.4 times 10 in this instance. Which I think is like 64, if I'm not incorrect. Alright, that's pretty good, that's pretty good. Let's see. Desire potential. When the total number of blessing tiers on all companions exceeds 24, so universally 24 stacks on your entire team, for the first time, the cooldown of the skill Seal of Redemption is permanently reduced by 1 turn. Which, okay, so, wait, hold on, that makes this 3 turns cooldown into 2, wait. Nah, hold on. Akechi might be S tier, I'm not gonna lie. He seems really strong. Justice potential. At the start of battle, there's a 33% fixed chance that all companions will gain 2 layers of the blessing effect, and the effect lasts for 2 turns. Okay. So, it's fair, I guess, because it is a 33% chance for everyone to gain 2 stacks. But it does wear off after 2 turns, but to be fair, you probably would have already stacked up blessing on everyone by the time you've hit 2 turns, so it doesn't seem like you're losing out on too much. Okay. Consciousness 0. At the start, or my bad, at the end of its own turn, or his own turn, causes all companions to gain 1 layer of blessing effect, which lasts for 2 turns. So once again, temporary blessing effects that I would assume that you have to play around. They're pretty smart. But okay. To be fair, you're only looking for humongous stacks, so I would assume that you can proc this cooldown. So it doesn't seem like seem too bad of a trade-off, honestly. Alright, I'm telling you, translations are funny. What is this? Anyways, my girl, Futuba, she's going to have a tempo of 100%. Since she's obviously going to be a navigator, doesn't really matter too much, since I'm pretty sure we can proc her at any time via one of our other characters' menus. Alrighty. So, explanation, once again, explanation stands for navigation, does not directly participate in the battle, but provides support effects for the team through support skills. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and let's see what Futuba is cooking up in this game. Alright, her first skill, Silent Infestation. Lead time for operation, so I'm assuming that maybe means like cooldown or how long. I don't know, it either means cooldown or how long it lasts. I'm pretty sure it just means cooldown though. Increases the damage dealt to one enemy by 0.8 for every 100 attack points Twin Leaf has. What's Twin Leaf? I'm going to assume Twin Leaf is Necronomicon, which is her persona. I don't know why it says Twin Leaf in translation. If I'm wrong, like I said, I'll update this guide, but as far as I'm aware, Twin Leaf is supposed to be Necronomicon, so we're just going to assume that you want to build Futaba with a shit ton of attack. Capped at 40.8%, it also increases the fixed probability of gaining clue to 100% when all companions release a skill to deal damage to that enemy, and the effect lasts for 1 turn. Okay, so I'm going to I assume that this means that she gains like the clue stack if after you drop this buff you have to use, or like I would assume regardless you are more motivated to use a skill on every character, but I don't think that matters regardless because this is persona we're talking about. You're always wanting to use a skill on someone, so it just helps. It's just basically passive. All right, second support, Desperate Support. Interesting name. Lead time 8 operations, or I assume 8 turns. Consume all clues in your possession to increase the immunity rate of one companion by 16% and return 20 energy points to them. For each clue consumed, the immunity rate is increased by an additional 1.9% and the effect lasts for 1 turn. What does immunity rate mean? Is it just less damage taken, maybe? I would assume that's it, because unless it like quite literally makes it to where you have less of a chance to get a weakness hit on you, which wouldn't make sense either. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to assume immunity just means damage reduced here. Alright. Let's see. Morale Booster. Gives one companion the Revitalize effect. For every 100 attack power that... What? I'm just going to assume, once again, it's for Persona. Necronomicon has. Boost its attack power by 1.1%, capped at 54.4%. And the effect lasts for 2 turns. If there is a resolve completion aura on the field when the skill is released, it gives an additional effect for every 100 attack points Necronomicon has. It increases the damage it deals by 0.4 with a cap of 22.4%. It also adds a hold to all enemies. So I'm going to assume that it makes it to where they can't go for a single turn, which would be pretty good, I guess. Let's see. Attribute enhancement boosts the corresponding attribute values of all companions present by 15% of each attribute of unmindful monster. Once again, I don't know what this means. I'm going to assume this just means shadow. Playfulness potential. After a companion releases a skill to do weakness damage to an enemy, there's a 20% fixed chance that Necronomicon will gain an additional layer of clue. Okay, so you basically stack up your clue, and then you get or you run like Desperate Support, or you run Silent Infestation. But you could also, okay, there's a lot of things that you can do here. Interesting. I actually like how they're handling navigators in this game. When the number of layers, or when the number of stacks of clue is greater than 5, it additionally increases the attack power of all companions by 5%. Well, never mind. There's a reason why you want to get your clue stacks up. Outside of her actual things, you get a 5% attack increase. Consciousness 0. After a companion releases a skill to deal damage to an enemy, there's a 50% fixed probability that the Necronomicon will gain 1 layer of threads. Each layer of the threads boosts all companions' attack strength by 2 to 4%. Varies when reaching higher levels. An energy restoration rate by 8% with a cap of 8 stacks. When the clue is sent to 8 stacks, it triggers the resolution completion. Aura boosts the weakness damage dealt by all companions by 20%. Wait, hold on. Because it mentioned aura. Where did it mention aura? Right here. Okay. So after you get your 8 stacks of clue, you get resolution completion. Which then makes this kind of busted, because it gives the additional every 100% for a 22% or 22.4% attack increase. But on top of that, you're also getting energy back for your character. And just an overall attack. Okay. And then you get the resolution completion, which is going to boost the weakness damage you deal even more. Okay, no, that's actually kind of busted. Okay, I like Futaba. I'm really liking how they're handling like every character so far. It doesn't feel like they're all kind of just, oh, you have DPS, you have slightly worse DPS, and then you have healer. Because that's how it kind of feels in Persona 5, where it just feels like everyone in their own way is a DPS, and then you have Morgana, who's kind of just a healer. Alrighty. Now we are moving on to P5X original characters. So if you guys are Persona 5 fans and you haven't been keeping up on P5X content, y'all will like these characters. Alright, we are going to start off with Yui. Here's her little 3D thing right here. I like to call her Hatsune Miku of Persona. She's going to have a base tempo of 105, which is actually surprisingly pretty high. And let's see, her persona, I honestly think that this is incorrect, so I'm not even going to call that the name of the persona. Editor Loda, if you get the actual name, put it right here. Alright, occupation, superiority. Oh, my bad. Superiority can apply a gain effect to your companions, increasing your team's overall combat power. Interesting. So first superiority character we've seen, and obviously she's going to be an electro damage. So nice. Alright, first, deals 80% of deals 80% of lightning damage with a 19.2 base probability to put the enemy in an electrocuted state. The effect lasts for 2 turns. The base probability of inflicting electrocution on the skill's primary target is increased by 25.6%. So what is that, like 40, like 44%, give or take? Chance? Alright. Second skill, Exploding Bricks. Deals 60% of lightning damage to one enemy, which increases the skill's crit rate by 40%. It also increases, it also causes Yui's next follow-up attack to have a 60% base chance to have an additional electrocution effect, if this skill deals a blast against one additional. She has a follow-up mechanic. Hold on, my interest is piqued. Ultra Rare. Okay, causes one companion to gain the Naughty Seed. Status, crit rate and attack power are increased by 9.9%, and an additional boost is gained based on 18% of Yui's crit rate, up to a maximum of 20.7% in this way, and the effect lasts for 1 turn. It also causes the skill multiplier of Yui's next 2 pursuit attacks to increase to 39.2%. The effect lasts for 2 turns. So I'm going to assume her pursuit attack are the follow-up attacks that they are talking about. Also, Naughty Seed seems pretty busted, I'm not gonna lie. Once again, I think I've said this only about a single character so far. Could be S tier. Her and Akechi, S tier in my head already, I'm pretty sure. Alrighty, Highlight. Increases the attack power of all companions by 32% and the blitz rate by 16%. The effect lasts for 2 turns. I don't know what blitz rate means here, but the attack power of all companions up is absolutely beautiful. Increases the increases the crit effect of enemies in the electrocuted state by 9%. Okay, more crit rate. So she seems to be an extremely good crit rate buffer. Hold on. Sauce. When a companion with Naughty Seed attacks an enemy with less than 50% of its life value, its attack power is increased by 20%. So we get, once again, 20% attack increase for attacking someone under 50%. You also get the Naughty Seed, which gives you crit rate and attack power. Plus, on top of that, a maximum boost of 20% based on her crit rate. This... I can't even talk, like, she's just straight up crazy. After a companion releases the persona skill to deal a crit, Yui will chase after it, dealing 20% attack attribute damage to skill's main self-scaler. After Yui deals a crit, it increases all companions' attack attributes by 10%, and the effect lasts for 1 turn. Okay, so there's the follow-up. If your teammate it deals a crit, she'll do a follow-up, and if that follow-up crits on top of that, she's going to give an attack increase to everyone. Hold on, chat, I'm not gonna lie, she might be on the team constantly. Not only does she look really cool, her entire kit just seems busted. Like, I think this is on par with Akechi's kit, I'm not gonna lie. If not, maybe even better. This might be top 1 in the game, I'm not gonna lie. Alrighty, we got Li Yaoling. I'm pretty sure it is Li Yaoling. I'm pretty sure. Let me quickly check that. Alrighty, I have indeed confirmed. Her name is Li Yaoling, which is a pretty good name, not gonna lie. And her persona is Meng Po. Alright, alright. Occupation Subjugation can apply mitigating effects to your enemies to gain an advantage in battle. So, Subjugation is going to be your debuffer class. Also, her persona. Can I pull up her persona? Her persona seems very cool. I actually genuinely love that persona. Alright, it's going to have a base speed of 106. Pretty sure that is the highest I've seen so far. So, debuffer's gonna have a high tempo, I would assume? Or is it just her? I don't know. We'll find out. Alrighty, alrighty. So she's going to be doing curse damage as well, so we could run like mono curse with Joker, maybe? Alright, first skill, Ferryman. Deals 40% of curse damage to all enemies. For every 10 points of speed it has, it reduces the target's enemy defense by 0.6, capped at 12.6%, and the effect lasts for 2 turns. For every enemy hit by this skill, you gain 4 points of recall. Okay, so I'm going to assume you want to build speed on her, considering what this just said. That doesn't surprise me too much. It makes sense to build speed on a debuffer. You obviously want them to be out there debuffing as much as possible. Alrighty. Bush on the other side deals 64% of curse damage to one enemy with the Yui spell attribute. If the enemy has any mitigating effects, the damage dealt by this skill is increased by 20%. Brahma Soup. Extra effect. Causes the primary target to have a 100% base chance of falling into oblivion. The effect lasts for 2 turns. So, let's see. For what I got here, she has the single target attack, which scales even higher off debuffs. And on top of this skill, it guarantees that the enemy will have a debuff for at least 2 turns. Okay, nice, nice, nice. Stubborn Lion deals 52.8% of curse damage to all enemies, and causes all enemies to gain the Petrified Flower effect. For every 10 points of speed you have, increase the damage dealt by enemies, or my bad, 2 enemies by 1.5%, capped at 28.8%. This effect clears after 2 damage or 2 turns. Bonus effect. Doubles the damage and increase effect of Mona Lisa. I don't know what Mona Lisa means here, but very interesting. Alrighty. One more inflicts spell attribute damage, so once again, I'm assuming this just means cursed. Highlight inflicts 96% of attack power to all enemies and increases the next damage dealt to all enemies by 44.8%. Has a 30% base chance to cause all enemies to fall into oblivion for 2 turns. So pop that highlight, it's going to basically be a RNG AoE debuff, which is actually not too shabby. 30% base chance. It doesn't say fixed, so I would assume that maybe you can level this 30 up, or maybe there's other things that you can do to make that 30 be even higher. Okay. Frolic potential. If you are holding Meng Po Tang when releasing a skill, you will gain 4 points of memories after the skill is released. What is Meng Po Tang? Well, Meng Po's her persona, but I don't know what the Tang is. Enemies that hold Petite Flower with more than 70% life increase the damage they take by an additional 11%. That is very interesting. Okay, so I'm just getting massive debuffer vibes. And I think, genuinely, she's up there. I think top 3. I think top 3. I think Yui, Akechi, her right now are like top 3 in my mind. Alright, Consciousness 0. At the start of your turn, for every 10 points of speed you have, you gain 1 point of memories. You can gain up to 18 points of memories per turn in this way. So that means that you would want to hopefully be getting like 180 speed on her. When you reach 44 points of memories, you will consume all of them to obtain Mona Soup. When you release a skill, if you are holding Mona Soup, you will be able to strengthen some of your skills. There's a 50% chance that the main skill will fall into oblivion and the effect lasts for 1 turn. Okay, never mind. So I lied. You can gain up to 100, or my bad, you can gain up to 18 points of memories per turn. But obviously you're gaining speed regardless. So, due to that, if you want to be maximizing how quickly you get that 44 points, you would want to hopefully be building 180. I don't know how possible 180 is, though, because 180 speed even seems like a lot of speed in other games. So I guess we'll find out how hard 180 is. But if I was going to say probably like 130, 140, because that means you're getting like 13, 14 points of memories per turn. Alright. Pretty busted, though. I'm not going to lie. She seems like a really cracked debuffer. And honestly, she seems like she can be a offensive debuffer and the fact that you have to build speed on her means that she's getting up to the plate almost quicker than half your other units, so that's pretty good. Alrighty, last character, Nishimori Yoda. I don't know if that's the correct name, so give me a quick second. Alrighty, guys. So her name is Hina Nishimori, and her persona's name is Deira. Very interesting. So she's going to have a base stat of 103. Let's see. Subjugation can apply a mitigating effect to an enemy to gain an advantage in battle, so I'm going to assume once again she's going to be a debuffer. Interesting, okay. Let's see. Deal 89.6% of psychic damage to one enemy and cause the self-tagged enemy to randomly gain one of the following debuff effects, which lasts for 2 rounds. Factory Puff Screw, defense reduced 13.4%, plus an additional 0.79% per 10% of effect hit, up to 16.9% by this means. Great Big Wrench, psychic resistance reduced by 7.8, plus an additional 0.79% per 10% of effect hit rate. Tipsy Scissors, attack power reduced by 4.8%, plus an additional 0.25 per 10% of effect hits, up to 8% by this method. And Weird Candy, attack power reduced by 10 points and returns 100 life points to the target enemy. Interesting, okay. That's Clumsy's helper. Clever Explorer inflicts 90% of physical damage. I said physical. I keep saying physical. Inflicts 90% of psychic damage to one enemy and reduces the self-tagged enemy's defense 8.9% plus an additional 0.7 per 10% of effect hits, up to 12.1 by this means for 2 turns. Exuberant Childhood reduces the effect resistance of one enemy by 3.2%, plus an additional 0.2 for every 10% of effect hits, up to a maximum of 4, 8% by this means. And make the effects of Treasure Hunting Command and Treasure Found 39.9% plus 2.6% per 10% increase in hit points, up to 58% for 3 turns. When unleashed on an enemy that does not have Treasure Hunting Command on it, there's a 100% fixed chance that it will add an additional layer of Trace. Interesting, okay. Her highlight inflicts 160% of psychic damage to one enemy and reduces the enemy's defense 16.9%, plus an additional 1.1% for every 10% of the effect's hits, up to a maximum of 23.6% by doing so. The effect lasts for 3 rounds. Okay, nice. Okay, I don't know if this is top 3. There's a lot to read here and a lot to dissect, and like I said, I'm glossing over this really quickly. I'm simplifying it. I'm trying to put it into easier terms, but I'll do character guides in depth for each of these characters that I've gone over, so who knows? Maybe when the game drops. In my opinion right now, I don't think she's top 3, but maybe top 4. I don't know just yet, though. Alrighty. Doubt tracking potential. Enemies with Treasure Hunt Command are Treasure Found. Enemies that are holding Treasure Hunting Command are Treasure Discovery, which I'm going to assume is just another mistranslation. Once again, this is Treasure Found. Will have their damage increased by 0.5 for every 1 debuff, up to a limit of 8 levels. Okay, that's nice. So, 0.5 times 8. What is that, like, almost, I think, 5%? Like, you're pushing, I think, 4%. With that. Okay, each layer of Trace reduces an enemy's effect resistance by an additional 2%. Consciousness 0. When you release a skill on an enemy that does not have Treasure Hunting Command, it gives Treasure Hunting Command. And when an enemy with Treasure Hunting Command receives a debuff from Hina Nishimori, it gains Trace. When Trace reaches 3 levels, Treasure Hunting Command is upgraded to Treasure Discovery. Treasure Found, once again. The duration is shared among all players. When the duration expires, the trail will be cleared. There can only be 1 Treasure Hunt Command or Treasure Found on the field at a time. Okay, so she actually genuinely seems interesting. That might be, like I said, this might be top 4. I may be top 3. I don't know how good this is compared to, like, the likes of someone else. But I think that she's actually pretty strong. There's her persona. And then here's her little cutout. But guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video. It is a lot longer than I expected to go through, I think, what, like 8, 9 character kits. I did not expect this to take 55 minutes. As always, please make sure to like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. It helps me out and it tells me that you guys are enjoying the content. But let me go ahead and stop yapping. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace, everyone.